Let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. We'll begin with Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
Okay. The lead story on the Daily Trust paper says Hajj 2022, pilgrims to pay more as Naira tumbles. It has a rider there that says 150,000 visitors from Nigeria to jostle for 45,000 slots. States halt farm sales. Fares may hit 2.5 million. We are waiting Saudi authorities on guidelines, says NACON. Then on the top there we have this update on the Fulani, on those Fulani men that we saw in the viral video. It says Fulani men brutalized by soldiers in viral video, denied access to relatives. Then we have this infographics on the front page of the Daily Trust that shows, that has broken down how the fares that is going to be expected to be paid by the pilgrims going for the pilgrimage this year. In fact, once you look at the picture, it's a very clear depiction of exactly how much each person is going to pay. And then we have under the infographics, we have another story that says 2 pilots killed as NAVJet crashes in Kaduna. Ganduje to Wike, you will be a good loser in 2023. 7 dead in Taraba bomb explosion. Lagos school driver defies 3-year-old pupil.
You know, as I look at the story about the Fulani men brutalized by soldiers, and now their families are being denied the corpses of their, loved ones. I don't know, for some reason, I just feel like that story is a classic example of a failure, to manage such situations. Now, they are confirmed by the police to be a mistaken identity, right?
Yeah.
Now, after that, what happens? Aren't they supposed to be released? But from what we know, they are still in the custody of security personnel. And they are being denied
access to their relatives.
And who knows? There are, allegations, or there are suspicions that some of them have even died. Maybe 2 or 3, have died. And I'm thinking that this was exactly one of the things that the bandits have always pointed to as, a reason for why they decided to pick up arms. I mean, it's no justification, but it's one of the reasons.
Yeah,
so it now goes to show that, perhaps in the process of tackling security, we are creating more problems.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a delicate issue. Security is key. It's very important. And so you must treat it with utmost professionalism.
And care.
And I am seeing that is missing in this instance.
And in any case, even if you're still holding on to them, I do not know why they're holding on to them, because if they are not the criminals, they ought to be released. But even if you're still holding on to them, why don't they have access to their relatives? There's a way, I'm sure there are laid down rules on how to handle suspected criminals. And if that is followed to the letter, I think that would be better, so that, like you said,
I mean, from the viral video, you could see
more problems.
Yes, from the viral video, you could see how they were manhandled.
Manhandled, even from that point.
From the viral video,
yes.
From the word goes. So at the end of the day, when everyone was not hearing, oh no, it's a mistaken identity, they were not actually bandits, because from the way they were being handled, anyone who watches the video will definitely conclude that these are bandits, and perhaps that's why they are being treated the way they are.
But we even talked about it then, that even if they were bandits, there are laid down procedures of handling criminals.
Yes.
And there are even suspected criminals at that point, so that people will have the sense of feeling that justice will always be done. Even if they are criminals, let it follow the right procedure, let them be charged to court, and if the court convicts them, fine, But as security agents, they have to lead, and they have to show that they will do things properly, so that other Nigerians can learn from them.
Truly. And
yes.
I mean, let's not just keep creating problems in the process, or in an effort to deal with the same problems, because after all, the last time I checked, is one of the reasons why we are where we are today, right? The activities of NSAKE, for instance, in Zamfara, has been pointed as one of the reasons why you have this banditry grow into what it is, today. So you have, these NSAK people engaging in extrajudicial
Killings.
practices,
Yeah.
sometimes taking decisions, being judge, jury, and executioners, for
And
themselves.
the other people saying that they were not heard. They were not
Exactly.
given fair
And then they
hearing.
are feeling like there's no justice that is served. They go to the court and they don't get fair hearing, and they don't get, a judgment that actually, is considered justified. So it's something that needs to be handled with utmost care, and that's just my concern as far as that story is concerned. And then we see the story about Hajj again.
It's a good thing that this year Nigerians will be able to take part in the pilgrimage. I think it's a very good thing. However, there's the issue of the cost.
Yes.
Because there are some people who that paid last year or 2 years ago that they couldn't make it. So they told them they were going to put the money in the fund. At that time, they said if you wanted a refund, they'll give it to you. But if you didn't want a refund, you put it there. But because of the exchange rate that has occurred between then and now, they're going to have to
pay more.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They will
Perhaps they will have to pay more
pay the balance.
to balance up.
Yes.
Because we are seeing about ₦1 million increase.
Yes.
That is expected
Yes.
On that, from 1.5 million to about 2.5 million or 3 million, thereabout. And also the quota has been reduced.
Yes. In fact, some states have stopped selling phones, and you can't blame them because some people who paid last year and last 2 years, those ones have not gone, and their monies are still with them. So if they go ahead and keep selling phones, there will be no space to accommodate all those people. Yes.
Quite a difficult moment, isn't it? Going for Hajj is becoming more and more difficult for people.
Yes, and especially the costs. Especially the costs. And this is all because of the exchange rate.
And the reduction. I mean, about 50% reduction in the number of people that will be, going for the Hajj. And it's about 150,000 people are expected to,
to participate in the Hajj.
To participate, but they all may not be able to, because of the reduced number.
Do you know the people I feel for the
slots.
most? Those people that had their 1.5 like last year, last 2 years, and they were sure they could make it. Some of those people are now not going to be able to make it because of this exchange rate, because to cough out an extra ₦1 billion, it's not a joke, right?
Which seems to me like the issue of exchange rate is a big problem in Nigeria. We need to be able to stabilize our currency because it's becoming more and more difficult. The economy is becoming tougher every day as a result of this dollar, naira exchange rate.
No, anything you want to buy, any service you want to acquire, you have to think about it that, okay, do I do it today? Because what if I wait and then by tomorrow the exchange rate has gone up again and I can't afford it? So it's a lot.
It is really. And also, we'll be taking a look at, other stories. The bomb blast in Taraba. I believe we'll see more of that on other papers. Let's take a look at the Leadership newspaper this morning. And this morning, it leads with the story that says, cancer patients stranded for months at National Hospital over faulty machine. You'd see the rider that says, management claims ignorance of failure of $3 billion CT machine since January. Equipment serves Abuja and Northern Region. CSOs raise concern, want health spending probed. You have other stories there that says Soyinka faults presidential pardon for Dare and Nyame. Others are saying 20 burnt alive in Bauchi auto crash, 2 die in NAF aircraft crashes in Kaduna, bandits kill 3, and then you have also IMF reviews Nigeria's growth forecast for 2.7% to 3.4%. Zoning consensus, others top agenda as APC NEC meets today. We won't allow anyone group destabilize Nigeria. That's according to President Muhammadu Buhari. Yeah, we had the tragic story about the Nigerian Air Force, aircraft crashing in Kaduna yesterday. We understand that it's a training aircraft, that is conveying a couple of officers, and then this happened. Someone was saying it appears that the Nigerian Air Force aircraft seem to be crashing almost on a quarterly basis these days.
Yeah, Ayuba, when I saw the story yesterday, what I said to myself was, not again. You know, it's coming barely less than a year after the Air Force plane that was taking the Chief of Air Staff,
Yeah,
no,
Chief
Chief
of
of Army
Staff,
Staff,
yes.
crashed in the same
Yes,
Kaduna.
yes.
Same thing last year, another plane of the Nigerian Air Force went missing for about 6 to 7 months. Nobody knew the whereabouts or what had happened, the
Yes.
fate of that aircraft.
Yes.
Later, there was a report that they found the wreckage of that aircraft. So for me, I think that there's a need to take a deeper look at the situation of their aircraft. You know, it appears that they're crashing too often.
Yeah, too often.
And that shouldn't be the case.
Yes. Is it as a result of maintenance, poor maintenance, or is it a problem of, some technological gaps
Or is
somewhere?
there a case of sabotage somewhere?
Exactly. That's also a possibility. So we need to really, and the thing with some of these security issues is that when the last one happened, you never really get to know the findings of the committees, that will be set up to investigate the issues. So no one knows really what's the predominant issue there.
What the predominant issue is and what is being done to address it. And that is why most times when these things happen, people call for, you see CSOs calling on the people doing the investigation to make the reports public so that people would know exactly what is going on. And then again, those who are supposed to implement or take action on those reports should state clearly what they are doing and what they intend to do. Because this Air Force thing, I think it needs to be addressed.
Becoming recurring, yes.
Becoming to
there's also the issue of the bomb blast in Taraba. Yesterday, we heard that in the cattle market in Taraba. And we are hearing that a number of people died as a result of that. Well, we can only say that we have to
They said it was
perhaps...
at a gathering. There were lots of people there. And
we heard one story says, like the Daily Trust reported that it was a restaurant.
Yeah, it was a restaurant.
About 20 people were there, and all. But again, another different story yesterday said it was at the cattle market in Taraba. So perhaps the restaurant is in the cattle market.
Or close by.
Yeah. So that's what happened. Maybe we should now begin to consider going back to the measures that were taken, I think a couple of years back, about 3 years back, when the issues of bomb blast was very predominant. Recall that people became very vigilant in public places and all of that.
There were serious checks before you could access certain facilities.
And that, was no longer the case because a lot of people were now being vigilant. Now, how this one happened,
Nobody knows.
We can't say for now.
And just why.
Exactly.
Sometimes I ask myself, is it that criminals just do this thing for the fun of it? You just wake up and say, oh, let me go and kill people. Let me just go and bomb a place.
I wouldn't be surprised. After all, the idea and the whole goal is to inflict pain on Nigerians.
Because for a couple of months, there will be peace in a particular area. And then from nowhere, you just hear that there's a bomb blast again. And you are like, why?
Really? Something needs to be urgently done. And now, let's take a look at other papers. The Punch newspaper, or rather, let's rather take a look at Blueprint. Blueprint newspaper this morning leads with a story that says, Ganduje to Wike on 2023 presidency. We see your efforts, but you will lose. It has the rider that says, you will live long to fight again. PDP will lose without me, says Wike. Choose between support and level playing ground, IU tells Rivers governor. Kwankwaso picks NNPP nomination form. Group reveals anti-hijab campaign to smear Osinbajo. So that's the lead story. And then it has the story at the very top. 20 killed in Taraba bomb blast, scores injured. The next story there, Malagi 2023 for a Niger State governor that will be. And then you have below the pictorial, Senate, Uzodinma, carpet affair Babalola over interim government. Those are the major stories on the Blueprint this morning. So, well, I don't know what to call this.
I saw the video where the governor of Kano State was addressing his colleague from Rivers. I guess it's a case of protecting his party, you know.
Of course.
I mean, his colleague
he
from
cannot,
the
he cannot be seen to be supporting
no, that would be anti-party.
another candidate
yes,
from another party.
A candidate from another party. That would be anti-party, of course.
And I'm sure that Wike, before going to Kano, is
would have
very well
envisaged
aware
that you know,
yes, of this. And of course, he shouldn't expect that the governor of Kano will give him his support in that regard.
At this time.
Perhaps maybe, you know, maybe as courtesy demands, he may just welcome him to the state.
He did,
but
and then that's why he told him that you live to fight another day. You know, not necessarily 2023, but you know. But then he was talking like a party man. And I take that to be on
the lighter side.
Yes, it was. Yeah, because they were all laughing in the video. They were all laughing. Even the Wiki was seen laughing. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they all understand that.
Yeah.
We'll see how all of that turns out. Really, at the end of the day. Well, again, we are seeing that Kwankwaso is speaking the nomination form for the NNPP. A lot of people are saying, why leave
PDP?
You know, the PDP to go for NNPP? Like, how?
I don't know, because the PDP has the structures already. The NNPP does not have that kind of structure. I know Kwankwaso is a very experienced politician, so I want to believe he did his mathematics before jumping ship, but it's a very dicey one.
It is, really.
It is.
It remains to be seen what will come of this at the end of the day. Let's take a look at other papers this morning. The Daily Times, for instance, has the story that leads, the paper leads with the story that says, nobody will be allowed to destabilize Nigeria, and that's according to Buhari. It says, in spite of current security challenges, Nigeria will succeed. At the very top, you see, I have nothing personal against Buhari, but his policies, Kuka replies, presidency. So I'm sure that will be in response to
the presidency. No, that would be
the critics.
That would be in response to the presidency's response to his earliest message.
Yeah, and the presidency's response itself is, you know, boldly the lead story on the Daily Times newspaper, where it's saying that, I mean, that the president will not allow anyone to destabilize Nigeria and all of that. Well, but is criticism synonymous to destabilizing Nigeria? I don't know how that is.
I don't know how that is either. You know?
I mean, people, as long as they are citizens, they have a part to play, you know, in the whole process of governance, isn't it? And the only other role that they can play is to, you know, be constructive with their arguments, and, you know, where they feel unsatisfied, they can express that as it is allowed.
And I also believe that when such criticisms come, sometimes you don't throw away the baby with the bathwater, right? You just look at it and look at the part that you want to take, and then the part that you don't want to take, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.